everyone, I thought I would do this second page in Tiny Year. Oh, this is a post-it on the front there. Actually the post-it is a list of the flower names of the flowers on this page, but I'm not doing that page. I'm doing this page from Tiny Year by Agotapop, the Colouring Heaven magazine, and I thought we'd some lovely spring images, so I thought I would have a go. Now our first one, which we are going to be doing today, this is page 11 by the way. These images by the way are also available on Agotapop's Etsy in her March Tinies. So if you've got the March Tinies you can colour along, or if you've got the Tiny Year. So either way, or you can just watch and enjoy. I'm going to be doing this sort of wooden bird box with the florals. Now a bird box can obviously be painted any colour we want, but I'm going to do it as a wood. I just fancy doing it that way, and I'm going to be using my Black Widow's pencils for this page. I'm not sure I've used them in this book at all, so I thought I would just have a little go. I'm going to start with a really light beigey almost colour and then work more layers on to make a darker bird box. So this is the light mocha. Now I've got the full set of Black Widows, so this is from the Dark Skin Tones set, and but it's sort of pinky beige I guess, and that's, I think it's quite a nice base colour to get me started. Now my plan is to make this top roof bit and the edges look like they're standing out slightly from this bit. It should be fairly straightforward to do with a little bit of shadowing, and I also want to sort of make it look like this wood has lines going this way, as if it's got a bit of a grain in it. It's not going to be anything too complicated. I want to keep it nice and simple for myself as much as everybody else. It's my first bit of colouring of the day. It's quite late, it's 9:45, but I've got up and did a little bit of computery stuff, and went for a little walk with my son, which was nice. I may have to go out again later because he said he may need to go into uni tomorrow, so he might need a lunchbox because they're off this week. I haven't got any lunchboxy things in, so I may have to pop out and get something, but that's fine. It does me good to keep going out for walks, trying to walk more, and I'm feeling much more energised as a result, so it's great. So there's that, so I've got to wait and see. He's messaged his group that he's working with on a project to see whether they're going to be meeting up or not. At the moment these edges look a bit darker than this, and want that the other way around, but it doesn't matter, we've just got some basic colour down there. So that was the light mocha. Now I'm going to start darkening a little. I think I'm going to switch right through to browns now, so I'm going to just flip through my pencil case to find my browner shades. Now a lot of the browns in the Black Widows are orangey browns. If I show you, you've got all these sort of orangey browns. These are really dark. I want something a bit lighter, so I might go for some of these more olivey, yellowy browns. I don't really want these reddish ones. I'm not a big fan of the reddish browns, I have to admit. You probably know anyway, to be honest. I do bang on about it. So I'm going to go for the leather, which I think will work, and see where we get. I could do with a sharpener. Here we are. I actually emptied my sharpeners, so we're all ready to go with that. Okay, I'm not doing it mega sharp, just a little bit. So I'm going to go over this bit a little bit lightly, just so we get a few different tones of colour within our bird box. I think it just makes it a bit more interesting. It also increases the chance I've actually managed to get some colour on every bit of white paper, because I can be a little, I was going to say careless, but I think let's say carefree with my colouring, so I often miss little bits. There we go. So this inner bit, I want this a bit darker, so I'm going to just layer it up a little bit more here. And you can see how by just going back and forth a few more times we get a darker colour, and that's where I want to start building up a little bit of colour. Now the holes I think will be dark in there. You know, we're looking inside the box, it's going to be dark, so we'll go quite dark in there. I would be tempted to go black back in the day, I don't know what I'm saying, but I think I'm not going to go really black, because I think we might be able to see a little bit in there. So I think, and also we're doing spring colours, a dark black's going to be quite intense and extreme, so if we keep it lighter I think it will look better. So we'll play with that. I think that bit there I should have coloured into. There we go. Okay, so that is the leather. Now I'm going to look, what I really want is a mid-brown that isn't red. I think I'm going to struggle. Let's go for the mahogany. It's not really a mid-brown, but it's the best I can find. Is that it there? Yeah. So here we go, mahogany. So now we're going to get quite dark. So I'm going to be a little bit tentative in my application, just putting down quite a light layer, and I don't mind trying to put a few lines in here. Can you see it? I'm making it so that we can start to see there's a bit of texture in our wood. I don't know how much that shows up. We're going to emphasize that more with our next colour. Yeah, so yeah, I had a nice walk this morning. I was going to go up the hill, up the road, and there's a nice view at the top of the hill, but because it had got fairly late by the time we left, it was there was a lot of traffic, and I was like, oh, it's going to be busy. And then it occurred to me that the way we're going to walk, we'd be passing a lot of children going to school and things like that, and I was like, oh, I just don't want to be doing that. And the lollipop lady, be crossing them over and all that sort of thing. I know her and she's lovely, but I said I don't want to get in the way of all that. So in the end we thought, right, let's just go along the canal, me and my son. So I went along the canal, and he said, oh, I might have to have a lunchbox. I mentioned that already. And I said, oh, we can go and buy some stuff, but he said I can't find out until we get home. So oh, never mind. But we just walked along there anyway. I'm just picking my next colour. We're going to go quite dark now. I think I'm going to go huntsman. Now this is really dark, so you need to be a little bit more careful with your dark, because you don't want to just pile it on and make it look too dark. We want it still quite light and airy and spring-like. So here we are. I'm going to put some shadow in though underneath the roof to start with. So we walked along the canal. There were some blossoms. It was really pretty, daffodils and things. We nattered, and then we came back a slightly different route. We sort of went along the river slightly and then up the hill a bit, and there's a little sort of pathway that goes beside a field, so it's all nice and more blossoms and things. So it was lovely. So it was very nice. It was quite nippy this morning though. I'm glad to have a coat on, but I did have my big coat on. And just basically putting in areas of shadow and fiddling and faddling a bit, so can't really explain to you what I'm doing. I'm just faddling. But yeah, it was nice, and because we were a little bit later, we didn't meet these sort of early morning dog walking crew. Just going to put a few lighter lines across here, but we saw a few people who said hello, and there was a house that was something was going on with it, and I asked a man who I see about, you know how well, maybe you don't, I'm going to fill this in with this one. He's a dog walker, so I see him about. Well, he's not a professional dog walker, he walks his dog, and there was a house being done up. I was like, oh, that's interesting, and so we were having a nosy at that and talking about it a tad, as you do. Well, maybe you don't. It's in our town, you know, you can talk to people and it's nice, whereas I know some towns aren't as friendly. It's why I've thought a little bit about moving to a town nearer to where my parents live, because I know that as they get older, they're doing really well. they might need more help. They might need me around a little bit more, you know, maybe helping them with jobs in the house, garden, that sort of thing. As I say, they're doing really well at the moment. But to move away from this town would be quite difficult. I know they wouldn't want to move here. Sorry, I just got to blow my nose. So it would be tricky. And where they live, I used to think it was a really nice place. I haven't grown up there. But now, although it's not nasty, people just aren't as friendly. And I think it's because it's a bigger town that makes a difference. Also, I know people here. You know, I've lived here since 2001. So a long time, and when you're just walking you just see familiar faces around and just sort of nod, hello, acknowledge, or have a long chat depending on the person, you know, and it's just lovely. And you know, if I go back to town where they live, I sort of still know their neighbours a little bit, but that's it, you know, and I wouldn't sort of know them well enough for a long chat or anything like that. And yes, of course you can make friends, but because it's not such a friendly place, I think it would take a long time, you know. And even like people in the shops, you know, the sort of retail staff that I know and chat to and that sort of thing, you know, it would be really hard, I think. But you know, we are a little bit cut off here. It's a small town. We don't have the sort of, that looks a bit messy, I'm just going to go over it. We don't have the links to bigger towns on our transport, you know, and we don't have so many jobs, things like that. But it's just nice living in a little place. It's not tiny. Right, I'm happy with those. I'm going to leave them and then do the flowers and leaves, and then if I think I need to come back and do a bit of fiddling faddling, I will. Right, I'm going to dive into the leaves and grab my favourite greens, my favourite shades, the sort of olives. I think actually I'm going to use the leaf green. Where is that? There it is. And then at the base of the leaves, and then use a slightly lighter one for the tips, just to make it a little bit more interesting. So here it is, leaf green. And I'm going to do it really simply, so just layer it up at the bottom, and where the leaves are overlapping either the bird box or other leaves, and then just fade it off. My husband's going to an art shop today. I've just given him a list. It's actually only a list of pencils that I've got running out, polychromos. You know, there are certain pencil sets that I have that I'm going to run out, and that'll be them done. You know, I won't replace them because they're not available open stock. But my polychromos are my favourite pencils still, despite having lots and lots of other sets. I think because they were my first proper expensive set and I like a hard pencil, they just suit me. And yes, there's a limit to them. They don't have very many pastel shades. You know, they're sort of not perfect. No pencil set is. I've never found the perfect set. Just a bit squiff. There we go. But I've got a few that I need replacing. I need new ones of. They're getting really short. So I've made a little list. I've just realised that I coloured that in. It's wrong, isn't it? That is a petal. I'm going to use my eraser to just try and get rid of that. I'm so sorry if you've coloured that in. But what I'm going to do is go over it and it will just vanish. It'll be fine. Anyway, yes, so he's getting me a few, but I was tempted to possibly go with him, but my son needs help with his assignment, which is my priority today. So he's having breakfast at the moment. So once he's done, I'm going to be helping him. He doesn't need like help with the work. He needs help with concentration because he's worried that he's got a lot to do and he's finding it hard to concentrate and get it done. And so if I'm sitting there, it will help him. So actually I need to remind him to get a stool from the kitchen for me to sit on in his bedroom, because Otherwise I'm sit on the floor, and he doesn't let me sit on his bed because it makes a dent in the mattress. Now I don't blame him. Also, it's far too far away from his computer. I mean, his room isn't massive, it's just in the wrong angle, you know. So this is the apple, and I'm going to use that for the tips of our leaves. So I'm not going to start right at the base, about halfway, as I just started to fade the colour, and just take it to the tip. Take it to the tip. Sounds like we're going to the rubbish dump. Take it to the tip. Don't do that. My parents' town, their rubbish tip is closing. It was in a really weird place, like in the middle of an industrial estate, quite near the centre of town. I thought it was a bit odd a place. It's going to close down. They're going to have to drive out into the countryside to do their rubbish, and we have the same thing here. We have to drive quite a long way, and we also have to book to go, which a lot of people complain about, but I find it's really good because it means it's not busy. You're not queuing to get in, you know. On a bank holiday, sunny bank holiday weekend, everyone's gardening, and it can get just absolutely manically busy. So booking is really good. But people reckon it means that people will just end up dumping their rubbish because they can't be bothered to wait and stuff. But I've always managed to get a booking for a reasonable time. But maybe I've just been lucky, I don't know. Right, I'm looking for the light bronze. I don't know where it is though. There it is. Now I'm going to do my flower centres with a little bit of this, not completely. Now they are small, so if you can't be doing with using several colours in the centre of your flower, then don't use this one. I'm going to do like a little smile inside my flower. Like that. And then we're going to get a yellowy tone. Probably something really lovely and bright. Let's go for the Aztec gold. Where are you? There you are. Aztec gold. And finish them off with this. I'm just using the two shades. I don't even know if what I've put in is going to show up very much. It shows up a tad. I can see it. You might struggle to see it on camera. Depends how big you've got it. But you worry about those of you who've got my videos up on your telly. You can see every little mistake that I've made. Right, now I absolutely love this with white flowers. I think it looks really pure, simple and pretty. However, without a background, maybe not. So what I'm going to do, rather than doing a background, which I'm not up for doing, let's put that down, I'm going to do these flowers. I think I'm going to do them in a sort of orangey, reddy orange tone. Let me have a look. Pumpkin. I'm going to start with the pumpkin. Just trying to find it. Oh, there it is. Now this is quite a dark colour. I'm just going to do a little bit of this right in the centre, near the flower centre. Oh, I don't. That lead's getting a bit wobbly. We'll see how it holds out. So just a little bit like that. We're going to use a selection of colours. Again, if you find it too fiddly to do too many colours, probably don't start with this one. Probably start with, just use the next colour, my mid-orange, whatever that's going to be. I haven't decided yet. It's quite dull today. I was sort of expecting it to be bright and sunny. I don't know why. Yesterday it was a bit dull as well, and rainy. Oh, it rained a lot yesterday, but that's what we're used to. And it keeps everything so green. I think we have to try and be happy and positive about the rain, even though it isn't always easy, because it just, you know, it waters everything, makes it green. We wouldn't have our green and pleasant land, as they call it, if it wasn't raining. Right, that's our pumpkin. Where are we going to go next? I think the carrot. It's a good name, isn't it? Ooh. There it is, carrot. Now some of the oranges I find in the Black Widows are quite similar to each other. This one is quite similar, I think, to the burnt orange. It's a little bit different, but I find they're similar. I think it's they are it's because there are so many. Now if you want a really big broad range of colour, I can't remember how many there are here. Is it 180? Something like that. There's a lot of pencils. And so even if you don't have all of these, you can probably get enough from some of your sets. I mean, if you're thinking of buying a Black Widow set, by the way, get the spider set. Now the spider, if you haven't got any others, the spider set has a really good range of colours, because it's basically got a white, a black, a grey, 4 browns, 4 greens, 3 blues, a couple of pinks, purple, an orange, 2 yellows, and you know, so you've got a rainbow basically. I'm trying to find a lighter orange, the sunset or the serpent. I think the sunset. So it's got a lovely range, so you get every colour, whereas all the other sets are add-ons, so they don't have the full set. So it's sunset, so like a full range of colour. So for example, the Cobra set doesn't have any blues, I don't think. I'm trying to remember, I don't think so. Something like that anyway. Even if I'm wrong, you can understand what I mean. So you need to either look carefully at what is included in each set to make sure that you're getting colours that you like, or think about, you know, what favourites you have and that sort of thing. Because you might just mix up all your pencils, so it might not matter if you're missing a black, because you might have plenty of blacks in different set, for example. Or you might want a set that's got lots of pinks because that's your favourite colour. So you will probably pick the, is it the Dragon or the Monarch? I can't remember, one of them's got loads of pinks in. You know, but definitely take a good hard look. What I want to do with my flowers, you can leave it there if you want. I'm just going to get a yellowy orange just to finish it off, and just to sort of brighten it all. I'm going to use the gold dust, and I think this will just smush it all together and just brighten all our flowers before we finish. Sounds like my son is just finished, which is really good timing because I can hear him stacking the dishwasher. Gold dust. So I'm just going to go over all of them just to make them slightly more vibrant, and then I will have to go, but I'll be done, so it's perfect timing. Now, of course, if you prefer, you could do all of your flowers in different colours, but hang on a minute. I just reminded my son to grab me a stool to go up to his bedroom. He can carry it up for me. He's young and strong. There we go. Now you could do a little bit more shadow so that these don't look like they're sitting on top of each other, but I'm not sure. Have a little look. No, I want to leave it just as it is. I'm happy with it like that. Quite simple. I think it looks quite nice. So I'm going to leave mine. But you know how I did these shadows under the roof and things? You could do that around some of the petals to make the flowers look a bit more three-dimensional. But I'm just going to leave it. I like it. I think I'm going to risk making that orange just look dirty, and I don't want to do that. So I am done. So thank you for watching today. I do hope that you have a super day, and I'm hoping I might get time to come and record another video later, but I'm not sure. But for now, thank you so much and happy colouring.